Hi guys, so let's take a look at a new feature which was introduced under the 1978 Constitution, referendums. Now, a referendum is a direct democracy method which was introduced to the 1978 Constitution as a new feature. Now, referendum is basically a process where the executive of the country seeks the approval of the public regarding an important decision. Now, you guys know in normal proceedings, in the general lawmaking procedure, what normally happens is the executive makes a decision and the executive has to get it approved in the legislature. When the executive decides a law, they get it approved in the legislature. However, in a referendum, what happens is the executive seeks the approval of the public directly. Now, since direct democracy is not possible anymore, which means us passing our own laws is not possible anymore, like in ancient Greece, we have appointed representatives to sit in the legislature and approve decisions for us. So when a law gets passed among the 225 members in the legislature, that basically is a representation of the entire population approving that decision of the legislature. Now, what direct democracy does is it basically allows the people to approve the decision directly rather than their representatives approving it. So, in the 1978 Constitution, referendums were introduced. So, according to the 1978 Constitution, referendums can only be called by one person and one only. Only the president can call for referendums. So, a president can call a referendum under three circumstances. Number one, the president can call for a referendum in terms of a constitutional amendment. Now, you guys know Sri Lanka has a very rigid constitution. Even for a general constitutional amendment, you need a 2/3 majority, and there are certain articles in the constitution which are extra rigid, where in addition to a 2/3 majority, you need to go for a referendum as well. So, in such cases, if a certain constitutional amendment requires the approval of a referendum, the president can call a referendum. That's the first instance. Secondly, if there's any other matter, with national importance, something other than a constitutional amendment. So if there's anything else which is a really important matter, something else other than a constitutional amendment, the president can call a referendum and take people's approval for that decision. Thirdly, of course, whenever president seems is necessary regarding any matter, president can call for a referendum, and mostly this includes if a certain bill of the president is rejected by the parliament. If a certain decision, a law made by the decided by the president is not approved and rejected by the parliament, president can call for a referendum and get it passed. So this means the president can surpass the legislature and get his decisions approved by the people himself. Now, this feature enhances the powers of the president even more, because even without any support of the legislature, the president still can fair and square get laws passed. Other than that, it reduces the reputation and the power of the parliament, because even a law that is rejected by the parliament can still be passed with the people's approval. So, when it comes to referendum, it takes place similar to the election process, whereas the election cards will come to your place, the voting cards and all that, and you will have to take your card and your identity card to a polling center get that ink on your finger, and they will hand you a ballot paper. So instead of like a general ballot paper, it won't contain like names of political parties or candidates. Instead, it will be a question, and you can say yes or no. If you are agreeing with the decision, you say yes. If you are disagreeing with the decision, you say no. So whatever the decision that is made by the people, the government is bound to follow that. So Sri Lanka has held a referendum thus far only once in 1982. That was to extend the term of the parliament from 1983 to 1989. So instead of going for an election in 83, J.R. Jayawardena went for a referendum in 1982 and extend the term of the parliament from another 6 years. That's in order to protect that 5/6 majority power which he had in the existing legislature. So and the teacher's guide also carries this other fact, which is in case of a situation where the voter turnout is less than a two-third, the people less than two-third have turned up to cast their vote in the referendum. Only if one-third agrees, the decision can still get through. It's an additional fact. If it's difficult for you to wrap your mind around it, just leave it. It's not that important. However, it is mentioned in the Teacher's Guide. Other than that, for you all to have some practical knowledge regarding this, the Sri Lanka's referendums have two symbols for saying yes and no. It's basically the pot and the lamp. So unlike these political party symbols, you don't have those symbols. You have two symbols standing for yes and no, which is the pot and the lamp. And other than the 1982 referendum, in 2003, back then the existing Prime Minister was he was saying that because he was sort of he was in a ceasefire and a peace talk agreement with the LTT at that time. He said when he comes up with a political solution for this ethnic conflict in Sri Lanka, that he would call for a referendum and get it approved by people, which didn't go that far, which didn't happen. Also in 2015, when President Maithripala Sirisena said that he is going to abolish the executive presidency, he also said that he will have to call for a referendum if he is abolishing the executive presidency, which also did not happen. So thus far the only referendum we've had in our country was the 1982 referendum.